The profit motives of capitalism constantly get in the way of industrial growth. The irony of any industrial revolution is one of incredible growth but also incredible stagnation. The business class seeks for profit while industry seeks for growth. Profit will always try to undercut this growth in order to keep that very profit alive, using tactics to keep business markets going. One of the fundamental flaws of capitalism is that it always gets in the way of industrial progress by using these tactics. In order to keep markets going, all surpluses created by industry are constantly suppressed. Anytime the food industry produces more food than they can feed people, they destroy that food, instead of feeding those people, because feeding those people would damage profits. Same goes for clothing, medicine, and shelter. These markets allow homelessness and starvation to continue because in doing so allows for these markets to continue making profits. Other ways they forcibly slow down the speed and growth of industry in favor of making profits is with planned obsolescence, which is shortening the replacement cycle of goods. They do this by making their products out of cheaper materials so that they break down quicker. You can see this, for example, in phone manufacturing. Instead of giving you a high-end phone, they will give you cheaper materials and sell you them for a higher price. Especially when so few companies have a monopoly on electronics, they also won't give you the most advanced products either. I know that's what will be advertised, but really they will only slightly increase a small feature, slowing down the progress of industry, when really they could improve the materials and features, giving you the most efficient and high-tech phone. But that would damage the profits and ruin their market, so they do the opposite in favor of market profits. These barriers made by business, put in the path of progress, made by industry, is also in medical, educational, tactical industries. So long as a market exists to extract profit from, you will see artificial stagnation at the same time. Within those fields, you will see breakthroughs and surpluses. As I said, with each industrial revolution comes a great irony. Incredible growth, but also incredible stagnation. Because industry will seek to progress, while business will seek to stagnate that progress to profit. This is a feature of a capitalist economy and how it treats industry. And as it advances, these stagnations on industry will only progress and become more exacerbated. An endless push and pull cycle. The business class are the bosses and CEOs of companies who own the capital, and they will never allow ownership to go to the workers, simply because if they did, the business class would lose its authority and then cease to exist. How it gets its workers to recognize its authority is through propaganda tactics and physical force, be it state or private intervention. Some of the propaganda tactics I covered in my previous video, but just know that alienation is felt in both the upper and lower classes, but is implemented in different ways. How capital is circulated and how labor is. Owners of capital see the privilege to move freely due to the free circulations of capital, however at the expense of suffocating circulations of labor. Businesses will often outsource to cheaper labor forces in countries with weaker human rights. This is so they don't have to give workers in their home country a better wage. Automation under the capitalist system is served to remove the human workforce and give them no means to survive. So that means less job options, as well it is far less likely that employers will give benefits to their workers when they can both outsource and automate. When a company has a monopoly on a good and service, that also means they have a monopoly on labor options as well. So when an entire company decides to change to a robotic workforce, effectively this removes a huge pool of jobs. Already a handful of companies own about everything. So when they switch to robotic labor, they will no longer need a human workforce. And since capitalism prioritizes profit over people, it does not care for these people. We already begin to see a mass exodus of this. And again, due to the free circulations of capital, the upper class will be living luxuriously. However, the circulations of labor will cease to be no more. When you couple all this together, it can be easy to see why business is continuing to suffocate the working class while experiencing the benefits of circulating capital from these tactics. However, you can only enjoy living in that high-rise building surrounded by luxury for so long until the planet's resources are depleted to the point that even the cold, blind hand of death will finally be able to reach even you. Staying behind when it comes to using renewable energy resources is due to simply one thing. it's bad for business to change. Even though those in the scientific field know that if we do not do something within a short amount of time, we will be looking at total annihilation of life on this planet. Simply put, the science industry wants to save our species, however, business interests of oil tycoons is what drags us behind. And it may be far too late for us to dissuade them. And by the time we can, it is far too late to save life on this planet. We could be implementing large-scale solar, tidal, and wind energy resources and many other alternative resources to help lessen our impact on this planet to help prevent extinction. But the stagnation brought on by business interests in their search for maximizing profits very much prevents this, and in the case, those in the oil business will not allow for the destruction of their own market, so they will do everything in their power to prevent renewable energy from taking off. Many in the oil industry are already aware of climate change, but when they found out that the use of oil and fossil fuels was causing harm to the planet, they tried to do a cover-up and shut this research down because they knew if it got out, it could potentially damage their profits. If we do somehow survive this climate disaster, what is next? Is it really worth keeping this system with us? The same system that is constantly shown time and time again to put roadblocks in our way, especially one so massive as to risk all life on Earth. Just always remember one thing. When the progress of industry is ready, business is also ready to stagnate in profit.
If they don't care about us, we don't care to come back.